So today we're writing the equation for a line given just the slope of the line and a point on the line. Now, before we start, we need a quick reminder on what the equation of a line looks like. So this is the general equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. And this is called slope-intercept form because the number next to x, that's our slope, and the number added at the end that's not next to x, that's my y-intercept. So basically, if I know the slope and the y-intercept of a line, I could just put it here and here, and I've got my equation, okay? But today, we're going to be given the slope, but not the y-intercept, okay? So we're halfway done to writing our equation. Here's our example. Write an equation for the line with a slope of 2, so there's our slope, and it goes through the point 3, 1. Okay, so notice, again, we know the slope of our line. So our equation is going to be y equals our slope times x, so 2x, plus the y-intercept, which we don't know. So we know our equation is going to be y equals 2x plus something. We just don't know what that something is. However, we can figure out what that something is. All right? So one way we could do it is using a graph. We could take this point 3, 1. Here's 3, here's 1, right there. And we know the slope is 2, so that means from here I go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, and continue the pattern the other way. And when I draw my line through it, you'll see my y-intercept is right here at -5. So my equation would be y equals 2x plus -5. However, do I have to draw the graph every single time to find the y-intercept? It turns out we don't. We can use algebra to find that y-intercept, and then we don't have to make the graph every single time. So here's what we're going to do. We know this point 3, 1 is on this line, which means the x-coordinate's 3, the y-coordinate's 1, and when x is 3 and y is 1, it works for our equation. So what we're going to do is take our equation, y equals 2x plus, we don't know what this is, we'll call it b because it's our unknown. We're going to take 3 and put it in for x, and 1 and put it in for y. Okay? So instead of y equals, I'll put 1 equals. Instead of 2 times x, I'll do 2 times 3 plus whatever the y-intercept is. Again, we're going to call it b. Okay? Because this point is on the line, we know that 3, 1 work for this equation. And so all I did was I substituted into the equation. And now we just need to find that y-intercept that makes this equation work. Okay, let's do it. So 2 times 3 is 6. So this is really y. 1 equals 6 plus b. So to solve for b, I'm just going to subtract 6 from both sides. When I do that, the 6's undo each other. I'm left with -5 over here equals, and all that's left over here is b. And guess what? B is our y-intercept, and that's what we were looking for. B is -5, which we just found on the graph. But this is how you would do it with algebra. So we now know our equation. Y equals 2x plus -5. Or y equals 2x minus 5. It means the same thing. But there it is. Okay? Let's do one more, make it a little bit harder. Write an equation for the line with a slope of 3/2 this time. So here's our slope, 3/2. And it goes to the point -12, 17. Okay? So again, this is my x-coordinate, this is my y-coordinate. All right, so let's do this. We know our equation is going to be y equals our slope times x, so 3/2 times x, plus our y-intercept, which we don't know right now. So we know our equation is y equals 3/2 x plus something. Now, to find out what that something is, we are going to use our coordinate over here. Okay, so subbing in -12 for x and 17 for y. So instead of y equals 3/2 x, I'm going to put 17 equals. And instead of 3/2 times x, 3/2 times x is -12. So 3/2 times -12 plus the y-intercept, which we don't know. All right. So again, all I did was I took our coordinate, our x and y coordinate, put it into the equation, and now we just need to solve for b to find that y-intercept. All right, so let's do this. So 3 halves of negative 12. Well, I know half of negative 12 is negative 6. So 3 halves would be negative 18. And if you're not sure, you can put that in the calculator. Okay. Drop down my plus b. I've almost got y, the y-intercept, the b. So now, to solve for b, I'm going to add 18 to both sides. When I do that, these undo each other. 17 plus 18 is 35. Equals drops down. And the only thing left on the right side is b. And guess what? That's our y-intercept. So now we know our equation. Y equals 3 halves x plus 35. Okay? And notice, if we wanted to have made the graph for this one to find the y-intercept, that probably would have took us a while since the y-intercept's 35. Okay? So, the key to writing an equation, given a slope and a point on the line, is start by setting up the equation you know, and then set up an algebra equation to find the one bit of information you don't know, which is the y-intercept, by simply just plugging in the coordinates into your equation to find out b. Okay? So, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit that like button. Also subscribe because it really helps us out. But with that being said, good luck on your math, and I will see you next time.